From Daytona Beach, Florida, the world center of racing, the activities and excitement of Speed Week 95. Coming up, we'll talk to Bill Elliott, Derek Cope, Robert Presley, and the other drivers hoping to write their name in the record book. Stay tuned. It's Dateline Daytona. Welcome back to Dateline Daytona. I'm Bill Hennecy. Tonight we're going to give you an inside look at what's taking place during Speed Weeks 1995. A driver who won the 1990 Daytona 500 and the Dover race that same year has reformulated a team with Bobby Allison, a man who's won this race on numerous occasions. He talked earlier today with our Hill Overton about his plans for 1995.
Well, certainly one of the most articulate and best spokesmen in NASCAR Winston Cup racing is the driver of the Bobby Allison Motorsports Ford Thunderbird, and certainly a former winner he is here at the Daytona 500. I'm referring, of course, to Derek Cope. And Derek, it's certainly great having you with us, and we look forward to seeing you run out here this weekend. But tell us a little bit about Bobby Allison Motorsports and the fact that you've got a brand new ride this year, but you had a little experience last year that won't hurt either.
Well, we were very fortunate last year, Hill, to have Straight Arrow products come on board in the latter portion of the year. And then basically, we just kind of got to feel out each other last year, and we built some new cars towards the latter portion of the year and ended up with some great runs at Charlotte and at Atlanta. So obviously we're looking forward to try to carry over that on into 1995, and felt like that we had some great tests over the winter.
You've certainly had a lot of good experience already with the team, as you just alluded to. How much difference is that going to make to start 95 with that kind of experience versus, say, you were starting the Daytona 500 as race number one?
Well, I think what we did last year is just indicative of how much talent is really on this race team. And to go out and qualify in the top, 4 and 5 there, and then go out and have some top 10 runs with only one new race car. Well, they've worked very diligently over the winter, and they produced about 8 brand new race cars that are sitting on the floor ready to go racing. So they have worked very hard this winter, and Keith Allman in the motor shop worked very hard and found some more power. And we had a fairly decent qualifying effort yesterday, but I really think that there's some good things that can happen here, and from all the stuff that's happened last year, I think we're really going to be able to implement that into the program this year, come right out of the barrel just blazing, and have a shot at winning some races very early in the season.
The team struggled early on last year for sponsorship dollars. They simply weren't there. Has the Straight Arrow team come in with the kind of dollars that can make this a number one running automobile?
Definitely. I think Straight Arrows come in, and also Health South came on board. The rehabilitation centers that Bobby Allison went to. They've come on board in an associate manner on the Busch car and the Winston Cup car. So, with the added funding there, we've been able to really implement some things into the system this winter to really help us progress a little more rapidly. And I think that the key for us was the fact that this winter, having those funds, the motor shop was able to really try a lot of things and I think get over the hump, especially from a restrictor plate standpoint. They had absolutely no money last year and were just almost destitute. And to come this far, this quickly, and to make those such rapid gains latter portion of the year, I don't see why we can't go out and be very, very productive.
Well, guys like Keith Allman and Mark Osborne and those fellas have been there a lot of years working with Bobby Allison. In fact, when you go back to 1988 here to this same Daytona 500, Bobby Allison won the race in his very last year before his unfortunate accident. What kind of actual advantages can he give to you as the owner of this team, and the fact that he's already been a winner here? And you have too, of course.
Well, I think that, Bobby Allison has a wealth of knowledge, and he hasn't lost any of it. And, I think that it's a collective effort, though. I think you look at Keith Allman, Jimmy Finnig, all the guys in the race team there, they have been there through the duration. They have been there since Bobby started. They were at Stavola Brothers when Bobby was there. So this is a collective group that knows each other, knows how to work with each other, and I'm the only new link that's come into that thing. And with Bobby's help, Bobby's been able to let me kind of blend into make a transition, a very easy transition, I think. And, I'm able to bounce a lot of things off Bobby. I mean, I can go up there and come off the racetrack, and Bobby, all he does is stands up there and he watches very intently. And when I come back in, I can bounce something off him, and he'll ask me a question, and then I'll tell him why or what my reasoning was, and he'll say, okay, he says, try this. He says, just think about this, and you can try it if you want to, you don't have to. And then, of course, I'm going to go out and try it, and, I seem to be as receptive as I can be to whatever he has to say, and it has helped a lot in a lot of instances.
Bobby doesn't sound like the dictatorial type of boss that says, this is my demand. He sounds like he kind of tries it on in a more casual way. Is that true?
That's true. I mean, he has a great air about him. He's very confident. But he doesn't want to be overbearing in any way. I mean, he stands back and he'll listen. He lets Jimmy and I and Keith talk about it, and but he will interact with us. He'll come and all of a sudden he'll step in, he'll say something, and he tries to stimulate you. He'll say something, and then all three of us will look at each other and go, okay, you know, now we just had something else to think about. So he's very good about implementing something into the conversation that stimulates us and maybe thinks us. You know, sometimes when you're too close to a situation, you're not as objective. Bobby will stand back and be very objective and then interject something, and then we can all think about it, you know. And even at the end of the day, I mean, he's famous for right at the end of the day when we're like beating our heads against the wall about a little something, he'll say one little thing, and then it's off to the hotel we go, and then we'll sit around and talk about it later and say, you know, Bobby was right. Maybe we got to try thinking of this. So it works.
Well, he has a lot of experience. He's been around a long time. He's done it all. He's seen it all. So he's the type of guy that can lend so much. Derek, you've been, I guess, notorious, I'd have to say, as not being the greatest qualifier here at Daytona. Yet, when the race comes, you seem to work your way up. What is the key? Is it drafting, or how would you describe what's the way to go for Derek Cope here?
Well, you know, I've never really had a car that's really qualified very well here. And, you know, you don't have a lot to do with it. It just has to go out and run fast, and the motor has to pull, and you have to have the right combination. We just never seem to have that, so I've had to work very hard at the draft and work my way up through the 125 qualifying races, then on into the 500. And I just seem to really feel like I understand the air. I understand what my needs are on the racetrack and how to manipulate the air and other people. So, you know, I've been able to make it work for me. And the key is understanding the air. I think just knowing how the air comes off the other cars, what it does to the other cars, and how you can manipulate that to really help you. And I think we saw it yesterday. Our car qualified 26, which is it's a good race car, and it was a good lap time, 190 miles an hour, so it wasn't anything to laugh at. But got in the draft, and the car was exceptionally fast there. Ran right there with Mark and Labonte and those guys, and the car will stand up in the draft and take notice, and I think we can be a factor.
Well, Derek, it sounds like you're very confident running in the draft, and you seem to have a good feel for it, and that's going to be a key to you here in both the Twin 125s and also in the Daytona 500. We certainly thank you very much for being with us. Derek Cope, ladies and gentlemen, was certainly fine, and we wish him all the best in the events here at Speed Weeks 95 in Daytona.
Cale Yarborough is looking for victory here at Daytona with a brand new sponsor, Cale, RCA.
Right, we're awful happy to have RCA come aboard with us, and you know, it's the first time a company like this has gotten into our sport, and we're very happy to have them, and hopefully they'll be here for a long time.
Cale, what do you think the attraction is for a major corporation like RCA to get involved in NASCAR racing?
Well, RCA is in the entertainment business, and you know, what bigger entertainment business than Winston Cup stock car racing, so they want to be a part of it.
Driver Jeremy Mayfield, your boss has been to victory lane on numerous occasions here at Daytona. Can you do it this year?
I really feel optimistic about this year. I really feel like we're going to have a good year, and hopefully Cale can teach us a few things about this place, and we'll come off with a victory.
How do you feel about RCA being on the side of the car? It's prestigious.
Oh, yeah, it really is to be involved with a company as big as RCA, and I think it's going to shock everybody, you know, knowing they're in Winston Cup racing now, and it's just a pleasure for us to be able to work with these people.
I see the tipper dog is occupying the driver's seat. Is he going to be taken along for the ride in the Daytona 500?
Yeah, I think that's what the plans are so far. Maybe he can help me out a little bit in there.
Looking for victory here during Speed Weeks 95, Cale Yarborough and Jeremy Mayfield.
It is said that if you build a better mousetrap, the world will beat a path to your door. I got a much easier way than that. All you have to do is announce that you are a multi-million-dollar company and you're just thinking about sponsoring a race car.
Yes, we had 5 formal presentations from Winston Cup.
Why Melling Racing?
Because of the team of Lake Speed, Melling, and also the additional marketing team they have outside of racing. It's just fabulous.
So does this team have to win 10 races this year for you guys to be happy?
32 would be better.
Is this your best chance, Winston Cup, in quite a while?
Possibly. You know, we had a really good year last year with the Ford Quality Care people, but the Spam Mellon team has got more depth, I think, in it possibly than what we had last year, and opportunity to have a little more hands-on with the shots that are called. I feel like there's a lot more potential here. and maybe the most potential I've ever had to work with. It just depends on really how we get settled in. You know, it kind of came together late, and we're having to, it's going to take us probably just a little while here to get everything kind of smoothed out and streamlined and caught up. But all in all, I'm looking for a real good year. I'm hoping to finish better in the points than we finished this past year, and we were 11th there. So,
Lake, the parent company, Hormel, had a lot of presentations, and many of them were Winston Cup teams. Does it surprise you when you think back about them selecting this team, considering that the team, not you, but the team, really has been struggling the last year or so?
Well, possibly that, but I would hope with the additional of myself and some other personnel that was brought along with it that has experience and has had recently had good experience, that would make a lot of difference. And then with the financial backing that the Mellon has here with it, and then also the equipment, the depth in equipment, the facilities, it's a hard one to miss.
You guys got a lot of optimism. You practiced at Richmond. You were very fast there. You came here. You kind of had a thought that you might have an outside chance at the pole. It's a tough place, isn't it?
It's a real tough place. We came down and tested at the first test in the winter, and we were really good, and we knew we were holding back a little bit. And so because of my lack of short track experience, we decided we really need to go bear down on the short track stuff and get ready there. Then the second test came around, and you started reading the newspapers, and the guys down here picked up a good bit more, and we said, I hope it was the weather or something, you know. We knew we had a little bit more, but it turned out they've had a little advantage on us, and there's a few things we need to go back at the shop that we'll have to do after this is over to get the car where to qualify a little better. But it shouldn't affect the car one bit racing-wise. Racing-wise, we ought to be as good as anybody.
You know, the last longtime driver of this team won $1 million in a bonus one year. How about Lake Speed?
Well, I'd sure like to do that. We need to catch up real quick. We've got a lot of ground to cover and a lot of big shoes to fill. You know, Bill and what they did here within the Mellon team was an awesome thing. There's no doubt about it. We're just going to go here and do the best we can possibly do, apply ourselves, and let the results speak for themselves.
For Dateline Daytona, this is Larry Newber.
As a viewer at home, do you know who holds the all-time qualifying record at Daytona International Speedway and the type car he drove? Think back. 1987, Bill Elliott in the Coors Ford Thunderbird, 210.364 miles per hour. Pretty quick, considering the fact that they're running restrictor plates these days here at Daytona. We'll have Bill Elliott on our show a little bit later on Dateline Daytona. Our show tonight is originating from the beautiful Daytona International Airport, just outside of Turn 3 of the famed Tri-Oval here at Daytona. The NASCAR Goodies Dash Series opens their season on this beautiful facility. Earlier today, Hill Overton talked with the two-time race winner here, Larry Caudle, about his chances in the Dodge Daytona.
We're here in the Goodies Dash Garage area at the Daytona International Speedway as there are a lot of preparations are being made for the Florida 200 to be run this Friday afternoon. And with me is Larry Caudle, who is a two-time Dash Series champion. Larry, you finished a close second last year, but this year you've got Husqvarna sponsorship, a nice-looking car that's already won this race. What are your thoughts?
I knew you'd have to bring up last year, finished close. It was kind of a letdown coming down that close at the end of the year and being runner-up for I think my fourth time, but I'm excited. I'm in a car that won the race last year. It's been on jack stand since the last race last year, or the Daytona race last year. It's a Dodge Daytona, and yes, we have the sponsor Husqvarna. It's a power equipment company backing us for the full year. We're excited. Testing, it ran real well. The car drives well. We've got a lot of rookies in the division again that we're concerned with, and we just hope that our first practice session out here will still prove that this car is going to be extremely fast.
These Goodies Dash Series cars are beautiful. They are the best looking I've ever seen them. They look like they're just so professional. They look like the Winston Cups. They look like the Busch Grand National cars. And it appears to me that they're going to be faster than ever. Do you feel like this division is really coming along now by leaps and bounds?
It certainly is. The people that's been involved in racing, like David Watson that I've raced for, gosh, he's the first car owner I ever drove for back in the 70s. They've been in it a long time. They pick up these new tricks and ways of hanging sheet metal on the cars, and they continue to do that. Then you got your rookies that come in and they buy up the old crew chief and the body hangers from years gone by. So after a while, even the new kids on the block, so to speak, have good quality people behind them. And as you and I both know, in Winston Cup and Busch, you rarely ever see a team that comes in that's never raced. So now we've got the opportunity of having a lot of people that's been in the NASCAR Goodies Dash Series that's done a lot of the work down through the years. And if you've got a newcomer from Indiana or Texas or wherever, and they come in and want to race with us, it's not very difficult for them, if they've got the money, to find the right people to make a good-looking car and make a fast car.
Larry, I see you're running a team car here this time. Is this going to be full season or just a one-race deal or what?
No, that's a deal. David Watson's got 4 or 5 race cars, and Daytona is the ultimate for NASCAR, the Goodies Series. We get more money and more prestige here, so it'd be unfair to him to come down here and just bring me as a driver. But for the rest of the year, that was the deal with Husqvarna, and we want to have an all-out effort again to try to bring home a championship for Husqvarna. And I'm sure Ed Howell, that's driving the other car, will be able to pick him up a good ride, one of the other car owners.
Well, Larry Cottle, we certainly wish you all the best this year. It looks like it's going to be a tough season, but you've got a car capable of winning. It's proven it can win before. Does this put any extra pressure on you as the driver to get in a car that won here a year ago?
No, it makes me feel a lot better. I know that driving the car in the test, it's one of the sweetest driving cars I've ever sit down in. No, I think it'd go the other way. If I've got a car that I'm real concerned with, I'd put a lot more pressure on myself, but feel real comfortable. I'm looking forward to it.
Many rookie drivers have arrived here at Daytona, along with a couple of young drivers who are looking forward to their adventure on a super speedway. They told us about what they're anticipating here in the 1995 racing season for these young drivers.
Been working on the engines a little bit more, trying to make them more reliable, and just all in all make our program a lot stronger this year than in the past.
I feel a whole lot better about this year than I did last year. We wound up finishing second in rookie points and wound up 9th in regular points. And we got a whole lot better cars this year, and I feel a whole lot better about this year.
Honestly, I think we could win a couple races if, we got a good team, and we were 6th fastest here in testing, so we got a possibility, of winning this race, but, it's whatever. I think we can run real good in top 5 maybe.
Well, we got a good program going this year. We got a new motor program and got some new sponsors, and got Shell Fire and Ice as a sponsor, and Guardian Industries, and we're going to win, and hopefully we got a good chance, and I really believe we do.
If we can get some good consistent runs, I'm with a really good team here with Weaver and Reeves. Everything's looking towards a real good season and maybe even that rookie title.
Last year's Goodies Dash Series defending champion Will Hobgood had a stark black car. He's arrived here at Daytona with new colors and a brand new sponsor.
Will Hobgood, you're the defending champion of the Goodies Dash Series, but a big job ahead of you to repeat in 95.
Yeah, it is. I tell you, this competition's gotten a lot tougher this year than it was last year, but we're going to keep doing the same things we done last year, and maybe it'll work again this year for us.
What were the keys to your championship, in your opinion, for last year?
Just consistency on the, on the team's part, keeping the car under me, keeping a 100% race car all the time, checking it, going over it, just making sure everything was right for every race.
Just don't leave anything to chance.
That's right. You can't leave nothing undone on these things, because if you do, it's going to bite you.
Are you pretty much set up the same from a team standpoint, the crew, pretty much the same group of people?
Oh, yeah, we've got about the same people we had last year and the year before that when we was down here, and, everybody knows everybody, and we get along real good, and everything's working good for us.
Will, have you ever seen such a great-looking bunch of cars as we've got here at Daytona this year in the Goodies Dash Garage?
Not really. I tell you, they're really a bunch of sharp-looking race cars this year. This series has grown. I've only been in it 2 years now, and it's really grown
more than I expected it to grow, but yeah, it's got a lot of good-looking race cars in it.
Do you think it's going to be tougher to win back-to-backs than it would have been a year ago?
Yeah, it's going to get tougher. We got probably 12, 14 cars to win this race Friday, and like last year, we might have had 8 or 10 that could have won it, and the year before that, 4 or 5 that could have won it. So, you know, it's improving every year.
As we go to break, here's the way the Dash drivers qualify. There's so much going on here in Daytona Beach this week, you'll need a program the minute you arrive. We'll fill you in more on this week's activities after this, so don't go away. Hello, everyone. Daytona International Speedway, all the activities of Speed Week 95 here on Sports South Television. I'm Bill Hennecy, and our special guest is none other than $1 Million Bill Elliott. Seems almost a short time ago. It was 10 years ago you picked up the $1 million, Bill.
Well, it has been. It seems like yesterday in a lot of ways, but it has been 10 years ago, and a lot of people have asked me kind of to reflect on that since it has been the 10-year anniversary, but to me, I don't really think much about it because it has been in the past, and the way I see it, it was back when $1 million was worth $1 million, but you know, I've spent probably better than that putting all this deal together, so it's been kind of a whole different deal. But I really enjoyed putting this deal together the last, 6 or 7 months, and it's been a kind of a dream come true as far as I'm concerned. I've got a lot of great people around me. I've got some awful good sponsorship through McDonald's and Coca-Cola and Amoco and Reese's, and without those kind of people, I couldn't be here tonight, and without all the folks in the grandstands to put it all together, it makes it all one piece.
Bill, it's 1995. 20 years ago, 1975, you were still running Woodstock Speedway down in Woodstock, Georgia. Dirt tracking, having fun, just enjoying it in the red clay of Georgia. In 1976, that was your first season in Winston Cup activity, and in the 2 decades you've been in, it only seems like a short time. What was it like back in 76, pulling a race car to the racetrack in an open trailer, your dad George there, Dan, and of course your brother Ernie, and all your friends going to a big-time stock car race?
You know, it was something to behold. I mean, we went to racetracks, and, we couldn't afford to get a lot of motel rooms. We'd get one motel room, and we'd take the mattress off the box springs, and part of us would sleep on the mattress, part of us would sleep on the box springs, and the rest of us would sleep in the floor.
A lot of people are doing...
sleep in the truck. I mean, it was unreal. And, I mean, for what transpired from that point up until today, it's a whole different circumstance.
There are a lot of race fans still traveling that way.
Well, I don't doubt it the way rooms cost today. I mean, we're probably still need to be doing that. But,
when you think back to 76, I think you had just purchased a former Roger Penske car that belonged to Bobby Allison. You were preparing the car in a schoolhouse down in Georgia. The Dawsonville pool room was still the place you went and got yourself probably a quarter hamburger and a great soft drink. Now you're getting your hamburgers at McDonald's. Does it feel good to be associated with a family-type restaurant, restaurants all across America that you can identify with?
Well, I think, looking back through my whole career, I've been very fortunate. When we started out racing, my father owned the deal, and it evolved to a step. And then Harry Mellon came along, and he was able to take us to the next step. Then Coors came along, and then we were able to continue on the steps. And, we had... between Ernie and Dan and all the family entity in this deal, we were able to continue making those steps. And we've learned a lot of things the hard way. We've been able to learn from our past mistakes and be able to be better today than we were 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And I think that's what's really helped us evolve. But still, being able to take the next step and not look back and learning from your past and doing from that step on has made us a whole lot better race team. And having McDonald's behind us, and going from the standpoint of not having anybody but your father's, being able to fund a little bit behind you to what you are today, it's a whole different world. And I know we used to buy used tires from Benny Parsons, and cost you $20 a piece. Now race tires, $150, $175 a piece, and you can't really do it like you started, 15 or 20 years ago. And that's what I kind of feel sorry for the kids coming up today is. I had an opportunity, and I was able to make it to this level. I didn't have a name behind me like a Pearson or a Petty or somebody like that. that could lead me along and bring me along. I had to learn everything the hard way. But like I said, I've been very, very fortunate to be able to make it to this step. I was able to walk to the right doors, be able to walk through them, and go to the next level. And we were able to work hard enough within our organization to do that. And, you know, to come up today, to have McDonald's and all the people that are behind us today is definitely a dream come true. I know when I first had the opportunity to go to the McDonald's people and talk to them and try to put this program together, you know, I'd say I'd go home at night and say, I wish this deal would come through, because they're a top company, and the more I've gotten to know all the people around up there, they're a great bunch of people.
What amazes me about you is how the fans love you. You've been voted the most popular driver numerous times. They like you. You're a down-home kind of guy. And the thing about your racing career right now is you're back home. Does that make you happy?
Well, looking from the standpoint, you know, we were able to build and do a lot of things. We won a lot of races when I was at Dawsonville. We won a championship. And at the end of, you know, 89, 90, 91, we were getting kind of lax, and things weren't going exactly like I wanted them to go. And it was time, and I didn't know if it was me or something else along the deal, but I needed to go out and reevaluate this and look at it a little differently. And, you know, if most of the guys, if Ernie decided, you know, he didn't want to race or whatever anymore, then that would give him the opportunity to make a decision, or if he wanted to continue on or whatever. But we kind of went all our own different ways, and it was really a good building, learning 3 years. And I think that's brought us today to when we are more focused and ready to go out and race and be more competitive than we were in 91 and prior to that.
1995, the Busch Clash. Hey, you were the strong forward in the field. You looked like the old Bill Elliott. It looked like you were going to get that checkered flag. Had to be a big smile on your face.
Well, being able to start where we started and being able to run like we ran was really made me feel good, because what we need to do is get all the guys very motivated that's on the team. We've done a lot of testing over the winters. I said at some of the other shows, and we've been very fortunate to where we're at today. And I think that's really carried us along. But now it's time for all that to end and get down to racing. And if we can come out here and be competitive, you know, each and every time we get out on the racetrack. I was disappointed with the way we qualified, but that's out the window. Unless you're on the pole or outside pole, now the 125s are going to set the stage. If we can run like we ran in the Busch Clash and continue on and build and gain and learn for the 500, and then continue on to Rockingham, Richmond, and so on, you know, the first time around is going to be definitely a learning for all our guys. But then, you know, by the mid-season or so, maybe we can turn around and evaluate where we're at and continue on from there.
Very quickly here, you're more enthused than I've ever seen you in a long time. You're back home. The question is, can you win another Daytona 500?
Well, I certainly hope so. I mean, we're down here, and we're going to give it our best effort. I think we're as good prepared as we've ever been, and I feel like that with the guys I've got, and the motivation they've got, and the focus they've got, we're ready to go.
How about a big round of applause here among our live audience here for Awesome Bill from Dawsonville, driving for McDonald's this year and a hometown team. Maybe he can get that checkered flag in this Sunday's Daytona 500. Coming up this Saturday, we'll visit some interesting museums around Daytona, and you're invited along as we go headlong into the biggest trade show of the week and bring you up to date on the activities through the Good East 300. Join us Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern, and stay tuned. We'll take you on a tour with Kenny Wallace and several of his friends. Hidden from the public view along the back straightaway during the Busch Clash ARCA weekend are all the Busch Grand National and Dash cars. Kenny Wallace reveals an interesting story.
Hi, this is Kenny Wallace for Dateline at Daytona. Right here I have Dennis Setzer, our Rookie of the Year last year. No, a close Rookie of the Year. He won the most races. He won two races.
Two races.
You can tell I'm new at this. And this is the legendary Kurt Schummerding. But what I'm here to do is I'm here to interview these guys while we're sitting here still on the back straightaway, Daytona, in the sand. It's rained a little bit today, and it's kept the sand down, but yesterday it was mostly like Saudi Arabia. Both of you guys, I'll start with you, Kurt, first. What is the situation? Why do we have to pay our dues back here in the sand first?
I'm not sure. It's my second trip here, and I still haven't figured out the whole situation, but it's a real good place to watch the ARCA race and the Busch Clash from right here on the backstretch.
A lot of betting usually goes on here, doesn't it? From the back straightaway, all the Busch Grand National regulars, crew chiefs, and drivers betting who's going to win the Busch Clash or the ARCA race.
Well, a lot of theorizing anyway. I don't know about betting. You have to ask some of the other guys there.
Yeah, he doesn't want to admit he bets is what it is. Dennis Setzer. Dennis is new down here. This is your second year here, Dennis?
Sure is. Second year by.
And you had a great year last year, winning 2 races, and you stunned the nation at that, winning at Hickory and South Boston. And might I add that me and this gentleman put on a great duel at Hickory. I was going to try to spin him out, but I thought better because I figured I wouldn't get out of Hickory if I did that. But what's your theory on this whole situation here, why we're starting out on the back straightaway?
Well, I guess NASCAR just wants to learn you the ropes, and they're going to learn you it's going to be tough no matter where you are. So it works out good, though. It gets us on the track early Monday morning out there. It works out real good for us.
Makes us pay our dues, because I used to be in the Busch Grand National Series, and I still am, running 14 races with the trailer behind me. So it's basically back here in the sand, getting the cars teched early so we can get in Monday and be prepared. So I'm Kenny Wallace with Dennis Setzer, Kurt Shelmerdine, Dateline at Daytona. See y'all later.
Well, Kenny, it's Dateline Daytona, even though we're at Daytona. It's rather interesting who some of the drivers and crew members were pulling for in the Busch Clash last Sunday. We asked them who they were pulling for and why. Interesting what they said.
Well, we're just going to pull for Chevrolet and a Chevrolet Monte Carlo.
Well, I just like to pull for everybody, you know. There are a lot of good friends of mine running out there, and I just like to see a good, clean race and a Chevrolet win, of course.
Well, for my mom and dad's sake, I better be pulling for David, but got to be pulling for my boss, Dale Earnhardt. He's got an awful good shot of winning his 6th Busch Clash. Hope he does it. Got an awful good sponsor. We got to support that GM Goodrich Service team, and you know, we just look forward to Saturday so we can do the same.
Who are you pulling for in the Busch Clash and why?
Well, my favorite Winston Cup driver is retired, Harry Gant, so I'm going with one of the Busch drivers that's got in the field.
Well, I tell you what, I've got to go with Dale Earnhardt. In my opinion, Dale Earnhardt's the best there ever is and ever will be.
I'm going to pull for Dale Earnhardt just because of his past record in the Busch Clashes. He goes.
At this point, I'm pulling for all the Chevrolet teams. I mean, it's a good field we have today, and I'm just hoping the Chevrolets come out up front.
Well, who am I pulling for in the Busch Clash? I would have to say I'd really like David Green to do well, but I think I'm going to have to pull for Earnhardt.
Well, I'm going to pull for Green because, you know, he drives a Busch car, and then be a big break for him. He can do some good in this race.
I'm pulling for Dale Earnhardt just because he's a good friend of ours and he does a lot for us, and I think he's the best driver out there.
I guess Earnhardt's my favorite, I guess, because he's started in the rear so much here and come to the front. He's got a pretty good car. He was second to my driver, Dale Jarrett, yesterday.
Well, you know, I guess we have to go with the man in black, the number 3 car. You know, he knows how to run them short races. He's proved it here before from the back or the front. So, you know, I'd say he's going to do it again. And much I hate to say, I think he's going to get to 500 this year. But if not him, I guess we'll have to go with Jeff Gordon. He's used to short, fast races. And we'll say Jeff second and Earnhardt first.
Who's going to win the Busch Clash and why?
Well, I'd like to see the man that I just drew in the pool win it, but, you know, of course, I like seeing the underdogs win, but I'll probably have to go with Earnhardt. I just think he'll probably outdrive him the last segment.
Well, me? I'm kind of like Eddie, too, now. I'd like to see the guy that I drawed in the pool, but in this pool here, I got Gordon, and, of course, I drawed one yesterday, and I got Bo down in another pool, which I haven't really ever pulled for him, but I will pull for Gordon today. Who you got in the pool?
The other Bodine, Todd. Todd Bodine.
I wonder how much money they lost. As we go to break, here's a look at the Clash results. Stay tuned. Dateline Daytona returns. Racing is an emotional roller coaster, and we had one during the ARCA 200. For one driver, he came home in victory. For another driver, having his best finish ever in an ARCA race. But for one driver, it was a low ebb. But he feels pretty positive about what happened and how he came out after a violent crash. And we're talking about Andy Belmont, who gave us a spectacular front page coverage here in Daytona.
Well, I think what happened was, if you could watch the race on the replay, I had no dance partner there because we had the last pit stop. I elected to go with 4 tires instead of 2, and for the shootout. And I guess I should have just gone with a 2-tire stop. We're getting great tire wear, and that's just a judgment call. But it got us out behind a little bit, and we ran down the lead group with no dance partner. So I felt surely if we could get through some of the lap cars that should have been. I don't understand why lap cars just. It's 5 to go. Why can't they get out of the way? It's beyond me. But anyway. I felt like we had a car to beat. I felt like we had a top 5 car at the very least. And, that's what I was trying to do. I tried to go up around the outside of a car there, and I'm not going to blame anybody. You go on 200 miles an hour. Race cars do weird things when the air hits them. You don't know what kind of air was blowing off the turn. The weather here is real. Been changing all day. You got gusts of wind, and it's real conceivable. Being on the outside, I just sucked the guy into me. It's real possible. I mean, I had the stablest race car I've ever driven here at Daytona. And thank God to Scott Rayburn and the guys. They just did a heck of a job, getting the car under me. And it's just a situation where 2 cars got together. And when you're going that fast, it's not like Saturday night where you turn the cars around, you go to the rear of the field, and you blast back through with 20 to go. You're going that fast, and you get them turned around, you got a bushel basket to take home.
Gary, a good strong run here in the ARCA 200. A lot of action throughout the afternoon. Did the tires worry you?
Well, a little bit. I tell you, the car got really pushing real bad up off 2. For some reason, the car come off 4 real good, but up off 2, we really had to push. And then I knew Bill Venturini, when he was in front of me, was having the same problem I was. When I come back around and seen him in the wall a little bit later, I thought, I was afraid he had some tire problems or something. But I tell you, our car done real good all day. The tire wear was pretty good on the car, and motor ran great. Other than the car being a little tied up off 2, it really run great all day. Crew done a fine job. So it's my 3rd year down here, and we've been in the crash the last 2 years in a row, so we're all excited to finish 2nd even.
There's nothing sweeter than victory, and Andy Hillenberg, you've won the ARCA 200 here at Daytona.
Well, this is great. This is the highlight of my race career. I'd like to dedicate this win to my grandma. She passed away on Thursday, and my mother last night told me to win this race, and she's never told me to do anything except don't rag. And she told me to win this one for my grandma, and so this is for my mom, for my grandma, and I love them very much, and this is the highlight of my race career.
Considering the fact that you came out of dirt modifieds and open wheel sprint car type racing, winning here at Daytona has to solidify you into believing that you can get to the Winston Cup.
Oh yeah, that's what we're working on. It might take me a little bit longer. We got started a little bit late as far as stock cars go, but I've been down here for 4 years. This is about my 10th stock car race, so hopefully we can put a few more of these on the trophy case.
Congratulations to Andy Hillenberg.
Thank you, Bill.
Here's a look at the top finishing drivers in the ARCA 200. I had the opportunity to talk to a driver who's fulfilling a dream, filling the seat formerly held by Harry Gant and the number 33, Robert Presley. Dateline Daytona, here at Daytona International Speedway. We happen to be at the airport right outside of Turn 2, and our special guest, Robert Presley. Robert, last year you were kind of like a guy fidgeting around. You didn't have a full-time ride in the Winston Cup. You didn't even fulfill an obligation to be able to be the Rookie of the Year. You got different rides with various car owners in your Busch Grand National career. You stayed in the spotlight, but yet you were in a very heavy shadow under that of Harry Gant, retiring last year with the Bandit's last ride. This season, it's all fresh and brand new colors on the 33 car. Are you satisfied that it's finally Daytona and it's all finally going to happen?
Yeah, it's been actually a year and 9 months since I found out I was going to drive 33 car. And, last year it started out, I was really excited when we was here at Daytona. But as the year went on, it kind of wore off. Boy, this year is going to be forever, waiting on Harry to retire. And, then toward the end of the year, I started dreading, you know, 'cause really going to miss Harry a whole lot. You know, he's made this Skull Bandit team, you know, what they are today, I think. And over the winter, I just, you know, thought time and time again, you know, am I going to be able to fill these shoes, you know, of a man like Harry Gant?
Over the years, though, you've been more or less groomed to take the place of Harry Gant. Maybe it started a long time ago as a small boy in the pits of Hickory Speedway and the Asheville Speedway with your dad, Bob Presley, who was a great racer in the sportsman division. All of a sudden, sometime during your career, you had to feel like, hey, I want to go to Winston Cup, and did you ever think it would be with Leo and Richard Jackson?
Not with Leo Jackson. Anyway, you know, Harry's helped me the last 4 years in the Busch deal. You know, got me where I could win some races. But you know, I figured I'd retire before Harry would. You know, the way the shape he's in and everything. I never really thought about that. You know, me and Leo's brother Richard, he helped me with my late model stock cars, and you know, I always thought I'd drive for him. And then when Rick Mass got to ride, you know, they basically signed a lifetime contract, so I said, well, here I am. I'm going to sit around in Busch all my life.
It's a tight-knit community around Asheville, North Carolina, especially for racing. Growing up, being a kid, you probably knew nothing more than Thursday night, Columbia Speedway, Friday night, another racetrack, Saturday night, Hickory. Did you get tired of following your dad around and working on the race cars all the time?
Oh, it was real bad. You know, they was, like I say, Thursday, as soon as we got out of school, we headed to Columbia, South Carolina. Friday night, take off to Asheville, Saturday, Hickory, and then go to church on Sunday, and whenever we'd come walking out of the church there, there'd be sitting Daddy with the race car, you know, let's go on down to Harris and race today.
How disillusioned did you get? Because it had to take a lot of time out from you being a teenager and leading a normal type lifestyle where you go to the drive-in on Friday night, you date, you go to the skating rink, you enjoy the mountain area of North Carolina. Where are you from?
We never done anything but raced, and I think my teenage years started when I was about 20. You know, I finally said, I'm tired of this. You know, I'm tired of following Daddy around, going races every weekend, no football, no basketball games. So I just kind of got out for a couple years and realized that wasn't what I wanted to do. And that's when I got back into racing and built my own car.
Okay, you built your own car. You told me one time you had the help of someone, and everybody often says that you've got to have a lot of financial support to go racing. But there's one guy in your career that provided not financial support, but a dry place to work on your race car.
You know, Larry Vinson, he come to the rescue. I worked on my trailer for about a year out in the backyard, you know. Whenever it rained, just kind of get under the hood and work a little bit. But, you know, he really helped me out. I think he's the one that basically got this career of mine started.
Okay, you won a lot of races at Hickory Speedway. You finally came into the Busch Grand National ranks, and you had two great races, both of those being at Darlington. Do you think that was a turning point in your career when finally the Jacksons took a look and said, hey, we're going to stick him in our Winston Cup car?
I believe the first Darlington's what really opened their eyes. You know, being able to beat Harry at Darlington was a dream for me, but, you know, that's, me and Leo had talked, you know, off and on a little. Leo's a real quiet one, and he come up to me after that race, and he said, you know, anybody can beat Harry again here, I think you're going to make it.
Speed Week 95. You're here. You're going for Rookie of the Year. I know there's only one thing on your mind, and of course that's going after a checkered flag. You qualified 11th. You got to get through those 125 qualifiers, but you've got the speed to get you in the field, so basically the pressure's off. Can you win here at Daytona?
Well, the car can win. I don't think I can. You know, I'm not ready for this. You know, I don't know if I can think fast enough that last lap. You know, like Earnhardt, you know, Gordon just got him yesterday there, you know. And Gordon's a lot smarter than I really thought he was. You know, he's done it 2 years in a row. And Earnhardt, you know, make that mistake twice. I'm not going to say I can win. We hope we can run 500 miles here and learn a lot Sunday.
This man has learned a lot in his racing career. Sunday in the Daytona 500. Keep an eye on the 33 car. The Bandit had his last ride last year, but this year, Robert Presley will be seeking the checkered flag in the Daytona 500. He should claim a victory before the end of the season. Do you know when the first race was run at Daytona International Speedway? What year? What kind of car won? It may surprise you. The first race was run February 20th, 1959. The distance 100 miles, a Grand National Sweepstakes race. That's what they called it. The winner from Corpus Christi, Texas, Shorty Rollins, driving a Ford convertible. How much money did he win? $800. Surprising, isn't it? More Dateline Daytona in just a few moments. Thanks for joining us here at Daytona International Airport outside of Turn 3 of the World Center of Racing. Saturday night, we'll be back at 10 o'clock with Dale Jarrett, Sterling Marlin, and other drivers. We'll also take you on a trip through NASCAR World, and we'll visit the Circle Track Trade Show. Until then, I'm Bill Hennessy for Dateline Daytona.